We have a pretty substantial practice update as the San Francisco 49ers get ready for their first practice as they get prepared for the Packers. And as we know, must win. Not only this one, but every game from this point on, which is an interesting spot to be in heading into week 12. But yet, here we are. So let's get into the news. Obviously, you can see the breaking template with George Kittle. George Kittle returned to practice today. He would, I don't know if they've actually practiced yet, but he is going to be a limited participant today. That's not the breaking news. He was speaking to media just a second ago and said that he will for sure be playing against the Packers. So any doubt that Kittle wasn't going to go against the Packers has been erased. Obviously, still got to make it through the week of practice, but it's crystal clear that he's going to go for this one after being held out of the game against Seattle. And yes, Kittle was absolutely missed in that game and just continues to reiterate the point how important he is to this team and just how just good of a player he is. So, yes, we are going to need Mr. George Kittle back at practice. But like I discussed, he was a limited participant today, but also with Charvarius Ward. Ward was a limited participant today. Kyle Shanahan spoke about how he hasn't practiced in a while, and it's too early to determine his status for this game against the Packers. I would assume that this will be the game that he does play in. Obviously, he was at the game this past weekend. He didn't play, and I think he didn't step onto the field or anything like that. I think he was up in a box or something, just kind of, again, just handling this the way that he needs to handle it. Not everyone's the same. Not everyone handles these situations the same. And so he prefers to kind of be taking a step back, and all the respect to him in the world. So with his return and being in meetings again and now practicing again, he does have a chance to play, in my opinion, in this game against the Packers. And obviously with the 49ers season on the line, I would assume he'll be there, out there with his brothers and, again, fighting through, a broken heart. But I think that he understands that, you know, that it's time most likely to return, which is why he's back at practice and why he's in the meeting room. So, again, wishing nothing but the best for him through these extremely difficult times. But I personally will be excited to see Ward step back out on that field because he is a great player, and we have missed him. These players aren't practicing today. I'll also add Jacob Cowing was a limited participant today. He's dealing with concussion. He's in the concussion protocol. So these players aren't practicing today. Nick Bosa, obviously, a lot has been made about his injuries and the double oblique hip injury that he has and that he suffered against the Seattle Seahawks. So we talked about this before, and why they signed Garvin to the practice squad is he probably won't practice all that much throughout the week. But again, because as we've heard not only from Diamado Lenore, Debo Samuel, this is a must-win game. And it's not just this game, all of them. So I made this distinction earlier. If you are hurt, you are going to play. Obviously, if you're injured, you have a broken bone, you have a torn ligament, you have something that you actually can't go out and play, you're not going to play. But if you're hurt and you can still go out there and gut through an injury, or should I say just being hurt, I think these guys are going to play. So none of these guys practiced today. Trent Williams was out with the ankle. Obviously, he gutted it out and played against the Seattle Seahawks with no practice throughout the week. And then Christian McCaffrey is obviously has the Achilles, but scheduled a rest day today. And no Kevin Givens either. Kevin Givens has been out for quite some time now and seems to going to be out for a while if he continues to not practice. So this is essentially the practice updates for today. Obviously dealing with some star players. How could I forget? How could I bury the lead? Brock Purdy. Also, again, he popped up on the injury report with shoulder soreness on the Monday after the game. He is a limited participant today, and Kyle Shanahan did discuss how he is not concerned about Brock Purdy's availability against the Packers. So expect Brock to be good to go and ready to rock against the Pack. And, so again, when we go through this list of players, Brock obviously expected to play. I expect all three of these guys to play. Bosa, Trent, and McCaffrey. I think they're fired up and they're going to go. I expect Ward to return. Kittle obviously already let us know. I would imagine also Jacob Cowing will play in this game. So it does sound like they were able to escape that game without any serious injuries. Obviously, Bosa is going to be the one I think we have to monitor the closest. It doesn't sound like Trent Williams re-aggravated anything, at least up until this point. So there's no kind of discussions about his concern, their concern levels with his availability. So yeah, quite the injury report, quite the, but it is Wednesday, and it is important to note that Wednesdays are the lighter practices, kind of the walkthrough install day. And then tomorrow they will ramp up. And so it'll be interesting to see if any other guys pop up on the report, because as we have seen, we had like Juwan Jennings last week. He popped up on a Wednesday, on a Thursday practice report after not being on Wednesday, and then fully removed from the injury report. I just think because Thursday practices are a little bit more intense, a little bit more rigorous, they could tend to switch practice designations for that specific day. So that is something that we will continue to monitor, and we'll keep in our minds as we continue to work through this. But as it currently stands, again, does not feel like there was a serious setback with any of these guys. And this is the thing, like I've already talked about, they're in playoff mode. They're in win, or you're going home, or you win, or you're playing meaningless games. And I know none of these guys want that. I know they don't want to be putting themselves in that position. So they have no other choice but to win. And so, like I said, there's no load management in this league. If you can play, if you can walk, if you can run, you better get out on that field, because there's no time. There is no time to waste uh, at all anymore. The season, we are in that portion of the year where it all matters. And so we'll see who's able to go, but I expect the majority of them. Let me know what you guys think about this update in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.